Okay, so three very important things happened in today's live stream. The first and probably most important was the fact that we got to see Wilhelmina's mangy kind of angry face. I can't decide if it's angry or mangy. It's definitely scary in some way. You definitely feel like you've been told off by your grandma or your auntie or something. The second of these important things was that we finally got to put a face to the lady who does the first look videos, and finally, and what probably should be most important actually, is the fact that we got to have a look at the new governor system. So my name is Alex, and in this video I'm going to be going through the main things that they talked about in the live stream. I'm going to first of all go into the governors, then talk a bit more about the governor system, and then for the last bit of this video I'm going to talk about some other things they discussed. So please do remember to like the video if you enjoy, and subscribe for more videos like this, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. Now we are going to take a look at the governors individually. I'm going to do a brief summary. I've got the live stream footage on the screen when they're going through them. I'll also in the description leave the gaps, the beginning and the end of the time period in the live stream that went through them, so you can go and check that out after this video as well. So first up we have Victor, who is basically really strong for defending your cities. So his first bonus actually sets the tone for this, so it increases your city garrison combat strength by +5. So yeah, he's basically, as you promote him, he's going to get stronger at defending your cities against both spies and units. Next up we have got Imani, who is the diplomat, and she seems to be the one that I've seen most of. I don't know why, but her first unique upgrade, her first, the promotion she starts with, is that she can be assigned to a city-state where she can act as 2 envoys instead of 1. So that's quite interesting. It's nothing kind of extravagant, but it's quite nice. And basically, as you promote her, she will give you boost to loyalty, she'll give you boost to amenities, and obviously she will give you boosts in city-states for them to be suzerain of that city-state. She's got a really cool last bonus, which I think is called Puppeteer, whereas she increases the envoys in a city-state by 100%. So say you've got 10 envoys in a city-state, then you send Imani, she will boost that to 20. So that's going to be really good. That's going to be really powerful if you can kind of get her in a city-state you really want. So next up we have got Moksha, who is the Cardinal. Very exciting, and he basically is the least dynamic of them from what I can tell. Him and the science guy we'll talk about in a minute, but he's pretty much focused on religion. If you're going for a religious victory, you are going to want him. His first bonus is religious pressure is 100% stronger from the city which he's placed in, and beyond that he's very much based on religious bonuses. So following him we've got Magnus, who is the steward. And essentially he increases yields from plot harvests by 100% in the city that he's in. He's pretty much just he's there to boost your production and growth, but he does have a really interesting promotion which is called Black Marketeer. So this looks really strong. It basically means that you can produce, if you put him in a city, you can produce a unit without having a strategic resource. So the example they use in the live stream, and I also think it's probably the best example to use, is how many times have you been there where you've researched whatever, can't remember what it is off the top of my head to get swordsman, but I think it's iron, but you want swordsman, you really want swordsman, and you've got no iron. Well, if you put Magnus in your city, you will not need iron to produce swordsman, so he could be really useful if you've got a high production city and you want to churn out something like swordsman. Okay, so following him we have got Liang. Now Liang is the surveyor, and she's essentially really good at establishing cities. Her first bonus is that all builders get an extra charge, which is quite nice. It's again nothing crazy, but it's quite nice. And she's especially good for coastal civs, from what I can gather from the live stream. Next up is the science guy, which is how I keep referring to him, called Pingala, again pronunciation, but he's referred to as the educator. Now he's quite interesting. It's a little bit different. He's got some kind of early game bonuses and some late game bonuses. Definitely late game bonuses. So he is great for progressing down the tech and civics tree throughout the game, really. So it's not really an early game bonus. He's just really good at doing that. But he's also good in the late game because he gives you bonuses to building nukes and the space programs later on. So he's really good throughout. He's going to allow your civilization to advance quickly. And I think he's somebody that I am definitely looking forward to recruiting as one of my governors. So finally we have got Raina, who is referred to as the Financer. So it's pretty self-explanatory. She is going to be good at promoting trade, gold, a little bit of tourism in there I noticed, and also there's a promotion which allows her to purchase districts with gold, which is so nice. So if you put her in a city, you will be allowed to purchase a district with gold. Now I'm just going to try and apply that very quickly. So I'm playing a Indonesia game, which I started ages ago when I first started playing Civilization 6. So I started that on YouTube. And although it's a bit all over the place, I found myself a little bit behind in kind of getting to the space program. So I got to a space port. I probably should have got there quicker because I was definitely up there as one of the best in science. And it took too long to build it. So... well, I've not even uploaded these parts yet, but having her in a city would be really good because I could then purchase the spaceport because I've got, even though it's a lot of production, I've got so much gold. It'd be great to use that gold to bridge that gap. So I think she's going to be really useful if you can use her in the right way. So now I have talked a little bit about the governors individually. Let's talk about the governors kind of as a whole and how they're going to work. So I've got some facts about them here. So there are 7 governors in the game, and the developers are trying to, from what I can gather, create localized bonuses which affect individual cities. And I think overall the cities will be shaped very in the period where the governors are present, very much by their presence. So, for example, having Magnus allows your city to excel in its shields of food and production. But having the science guy in there, I forgot his name already, will obviously give you a boost to culture and science, and that's how your city is going to progress, and pretty much how they're. I think he gives a bonus to production of the cultural and scientific buildings, but it is like 12:30 at night. Excuse me, so I am rather tired. Anyway, so we'll move on to our next point here. So it's important to know all governors admit loyalty to their cities. So yeah, that's just a point on its own. So how do you get governors? We've been through them all. We've talked about how they work in some respects and how cities are going to be shaped by them. But how do you get them? Well, governors are attained by acquiring governor titles, and there are 2 ways to get these. The first way is much like the way envoys are acquired via the civics tree in the base game. So upon researching a civic such as early empire or state workforce, you'll get one of these titles. The other way to, so it's like envoys. Basically, you get an envoy for researching mysticism, don't you? So you're gonna get a governor title by researching something similar. 2 of them definitely are early empire and state workforce. So the second way of actually getting there is by building the government plaza. If you construct the government plaza, you will get 1 governor title. But you also get governor titles for the 3 buildings you can construct within the government plaza. And so that's basically 2 ways you can get government titles. But it's important to note governor titles can be used to either recruit a new governor or promote the existing ones. So this is going to be really interesting because this will make it important to decide between choosing to play maybe a wide or tall strategy reasonably early on in your game, because if you wanted to play quite tall, you're going to know you want to keep these promoting the governors. But if you wanted to play quite wide, you're going to need more governors to ensure the loyalty of your civilization, make sure you've not got cities flipping, things like that. So where are we on here? So this makes it, okay. So yeah, as well as this, Another interesting point raised on the governors in Rise and Fall is that they will take a set amount of time to establish in a city, and their bonuses become fully effective. For their bonuses to become fully effective, for Victor, I believe this is 3 turns, but for the other 6 governors, this is going to be 5 turns. So, although a lesser extent to when choosing whether to make a promotion or whether to recruit a new governor, this again means you will have to carefully consider your placement of governors, because you are going to get a little bit of a penalty if you kind of have a little slip of the mouse and put them in the wrong place. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the other interesting facts that they came out, that they talked about regarding governors. So, city-states have icons in Rise and Fall to show you how many governors, essentially Amanis, there are present in the city. You can only put kind of 1 governor in each city, and you can only put 1 governor obviously in a city-state, but multiple civilizations can actually put their Amani, their diplomat, in one city-state, which is going to lead to supercharged envoy wars, I predict, which is going to be a bloody nightmare. So, in addition to this, another fact about governors is that when a city is captured, any governor inside that city will be ejected, and they will very quickly be available for reassignment. I don't think they discussed a penalty if your kind of governor's in there, although that could be a good idea to put a penalty there, because if it was me, if my civilization got captured, I'd obviously have Victor in the city that's being sieged, and then I'd just put him in the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So it's gonna like make taking cities really difficult. But I can't remember off the top of my head if they said there's going to be a penalty. I think there should be a small penalty if there's not, though. But he will take 3 turns to get established there, so maybe that'll level things out. So, as well as this loyalty in captured cities, so this is not you on the defensive now, this is you on the offensive. So loyalty in cities you capture will be half when you capture them, which means it is really possible for the cities, that city to revolt. So this is going to make it crucial to include governors in your war strategy. So when you're planning what units you need, where you're going to attack first, you're going to need to think, have I got the governors to make sure I'm holding all this land? Make sure you're not kind of trying to do too much at once. So I think it's going to prevent steamrolling your opponent. Not that I'm good enough to do that anyway. So yeah, some other interesting facts. All governors will be fully moddable. That was discussed in the live stream. So if you are somebody that likes to mod things, yay, you apparently can make as many governors as you want as well. So that'll be interesting. Also, spies. This is actually a really interesting one. Spies with a certain promotion will be able to remove governors from a city, and they will be subsequently unavailable for your civilization to actually reassign for a time period. This time period isn't actually specified. I don't think they specified it, but it's quite interesting, that, like a little bit of James Bond, kill the governor. I don't know, something like that. It's slay, I'm telling you. But yeah, that's quite interesting. So I think it will really add another dynamic to spies. I can see me experimenting with that quite a lot. So also the yields of your city and their loyalty will actually be connected. So if you've got low loyalty in a city, you can expect your yields to be down on what they should be. And finally, on governors, there can only be one governor. I've talked about that, haven't I? I talked about that further up. Essentially, just talking again about that. There can only be one governor in a city at a time. So now we've talked about that, let's talk about a couple more of the general points, not specifically regarding governors I came across. This is going to include kind of agendas of some of the new leaders, and just some other stuff, including a new natural wonder. So one of the first things I've got wrote down here is that barbarian scouts will now have wolves, which I find interesting. Not dogs, wolves. Now, I kind of wish we could have wolves as non-barbarians, but you know, oh well, I'd like a wolf. I've also got something wrote down on Golden Ages. Again, I missed a live stream, so this may have already been covered, but we're just talking about the kind of points needed to go into each age. So in their game, it was 0 to 14 points era score required for a Dark Age. Don't want that, that's not good. 15 to 24 was a normal age, and then 25 and above was the golden age. So I thought that was quite interesting, so I thought I'd put that in the video. I think we'll save the agendas till the end. So there is going to be a new natural wonder actually, and it's called the Eye of the Sahara. And I thought it looks quite interesting, but I'm not quite sure how powerful it is. So there is a 3-tile natural wonder, and it provides +1 production when you first discover it. Obviously, if you settle near it, like most natural wonders. So after the game reaches the atomic era as well, you get an additional 1 production and 3 science. So although that's really strong, I like the idea of 3 science and an extra production. But I mean, coming at so late as the atomic era, I think I'd rather have my bonuses early in the game, but then again, that's kind of personal opinion, isn't it? Let me know what you think to that in the comments. But yeah, I think I'd definitely rather have my bonuses personally early in the game, because if you can have a good start, and these things really do help you have a good start in the early game, then it's much easier to win, isn't it? And so let's have a look. So yeah, there was quite a bit of loyalty stuff dotted about, but I'm not going to go into that anymore really. As I turn the piece of paper, and we also found the Babylon city-state, and essentially that's going to be a sciencey city-state. That's what I call them. Not science city-state, sciencey, because it just sounds mint, doesn't it? Right, mint, doesn't it? My God, you can tell I'm from northern England, can't you? Mint, doesn't it? Right. So yeah, finally in this video, and we are going to talk about the agendas which I came across. So I think there's only 2, but who cares? Better than none. So Tamar's agenda, very unsurprisingly, considering her bonuses in the recent first look video, which I actually reacted to. So she loves people. She loves building walls, and she loves people who love building walls. So I did a bit of research on this as well in a different video, and Georgia is kind of full of these kind of fortresses. Well, there's quite a lot of fortresses, so that makes sense why that's there. I forgot what they're called now, and I couldn't pronounce it even if I could remember. And then we've also got the agenda for Genghis Khan. Now, if you couldn't guess what this was, I think I could probably have guessed this in my sleep, what Genghis Khan's agenda was going to be. But basically, he respects people who build cavalry, and he loves building cavalry himself. Now, according to the developer, I can't remember his name, unfortunately, but he said no matter what, he's probably going to get angry with you and not like you. So yeah, that's Genghis Khan for you. Unsurprisingly, one of the angriest people in civilization, along with my favourite Gandhi. Right, anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. I apologise if I've been a little bit slow. I'm rather tired. It's now 12:46. Wow. So yes, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you want to see more kind of stream analysis, first look video analysis, things like that, and a lot of just gameplay from Civilization 6 and the upcoming Rise and Fall DLC, I'll be doing a couple of playthroughs, I think, of it on the channel when it comes out on February the 8th. Please do subscribe to the channel. So yes, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed, and enjoy the rest of your day.